Good morning, everybody. I hope we're having an awesome Saturday. It is a gorgeous Saturday here in the Atlanta area for quilting because it's been misty outside. Little crazy. Weather has been weird because we had a few days last week where I had to turn on my air conditioner, and then now it's like, okay, your heat wants to be on again. And people wonder why people are getting sick. So,
Right.
yeah, I've been up early this morning. I've already gone to Saturday Sampler, my local quilt shop. I picked up my next blocks, which is really the final block in the Choose Your Own Adventure path, whatever they're calling it. And the block is this one,
Pretty.
which is like a sawtooth star with an Irish chain in it. So I'm pretty excited to get this done. They don't have my finishing kit yet. I paid for it last month, and seems like they're trying to get more fabric so that they can make people's finishing kits. And I'm like, whenever it gets done, it gets done. I'll have all my blocks done, and it's a lot of work in the finishing kit because of the way that the finish is done. I did get a picture of it, so I will show that later if I can, but we'll be starting. You may see that I have a guest here. It's my friend Steven from the Idiot Quilter. Steven is awesome. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. You can see I'm working on some embroidery, but then
Yeah,
again, what am
he's
I
working
on?
on embroidery. He's doing some fun stuff. He sends me a text this morning and says, I got nothing really going on. If you want to have somebody join you, I'm like, ooh, it's always fun when somebody wants to join.
Yes, what kind of shenanigans can we get up to?
Oh, yeah, all kinds.
Yeah.
Speaking of shenanigans, anybody who hasn't heard yet, tomorrow I am hosting my sewing shenanigans, which is a just a sew day. It's on Zoom. Anybody is invited if you want to come. It doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is just have Zoom, come join us and have fun. I do know that somebody has attempted to join today, and today is not the day, it's tomorrow. So
You'll
you
have to
know
be
who you
first.
are. You're early. I'm not going to call anybody out.
Oh, I would. That happens to me all the time. I think they're
I know.
testing their system.
But yeah, I just kind of I was getting my breakfast and I'm looking at my phone strangely, and the lady's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Somebody's trying to get into the Zoom early, like a day early." Yeah, she goes,
Didn't want to be late.
So let's see who we have in the chat. We have my friend Steven from Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter saying that he's here first. LOL. He's also, here. Or is it here? I don't know which direction
I'm,
I'm pointing.
I'm over here. Hello.
We have our friend Julie, who should be joining me, I believe, next weekend for um, the Kona Block of the Month, which I don't have that fat quarter, or not fat quarter, Charm Pack bundle yet. Or I have it, I just don't have it in here. So I can't show that one off. We also have Dawn, who says, hi. Sherry's like, hello, guys. Good morning, everyone. And we have Jen as well. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So, like I said, I have my Saturday sample block that I'm going to be working on. And if I can get my camera shifted,
Excuse me. What did you say? Shifted. You
I
said
said shifted,
okay.
shifted. There was an F.
Checking. Just checking.
So, what are you embroidering, Stephen?
Well, Walter and I, as you may or may not know, on So Chatty this past Friday, we talked about our new series on making an in the hoop tote bag, patchwork tote bag. And yesterday, on Friday, we went over which fabrics we're going to use, which I have now since changed all of my fabrics.
I mean, that happens. It's our prerogative.
And Walter still was locating his. Because he wouldn't want to do anything that's on time to our schedule because heaven
Right.
forbid if the poor boy had to plan ahead. But and now they're all going, quit picking on Walter. He's such a sweetie. If Ron was here, he'd say, Mr. Dreamy. Anyways, so we did that, talked about the pattern, the ins and outs, things you should be aware of. And then yesterday, I spent the day making the first panel for the bag because it's made in 6 panels. And I made a video about how to do it and everything, and that'll be up next Friday on So Chatty, so everybody can see the methodology behind this. And so what I'm working on, all the panels, there's actually 3 panels, but there's 2 sides to the bag, so you're making duplicates of the 3. And so I'm working on the second one. This is what the finished panel looks like right here.
Oh, that looks fun.
Yeah. And it's all, and I picked 1930s sort of style of fabrics for this. Originally, I didn't. I had these wild colors, which I thought, I don't know. I mean, I like wild colors, but I thought I'd like to make this bag a little bit more elegant, considering that we're going to be putting a full leather bottom on these bags as well. We just got our materials yesterday from Emmeline Bags for that. And it's very nice. I can't wait to work with it.
Oh, that's exciting.
And yeah, so that's what I'm working on today. And tomorrow, I might be making the little gnome Irish leprechaun wall hanging. That's very much like the one that, well, you can't see it because it's not in the picture, but I did that a few weeks ago with the Valentine's one. There's a series of them, I think, that they're coming out with.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And they've got one for Easter, but you have to buy, this is on Designs by Juju. You have to buy, if you buy $30 worth of designs, you get it for free. But they don't have it available as a separate piece that you can just buy it. So I don't want $30 worth of designs right now. So I'll wait. They'll put it up when it gets closer to Easter, or even if they do it after Easter, it doesn't matter to me. I'll get it then. But yeah.
I mean, if you do it that way, they make a couple more dollars because they're not giving away for free at that point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know the tricks. But yeah, and I just finished quilting my quilt that I'm teaching at Stephanie's retreat in April, maybe.
Oh.
But I can't show that. It's under wraps, it's a secret. I wrote the pattern for it. It's my own design, and Stephanie knows what it looks like, although she hasn't seen the 3rd version of it. I've made 3 of them. So
Can you show versions 1 and 2?
nope.
I tried, everybody.
I know you tried, but nope, cannot show. But and I just did a series of videos on it too, because if I am teaching at the retreat, there's some problems, and I don't want to talk about them because that's political and has nothing to do with Stephanie.
Uh-huh.
You know what it has to do with.
Yep.
But so we'll see. But either way, it will eventually be revealed.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And of course, you and I both are madly 3D printing.
Yeah, you have like 4 times the capacity or 5 times the capacity I do.
This is true. Oh, you meant the printers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you, with the printing that I have done, part of me is like, ooh, I want another printer. Ooh, I want another printer.
Yes.
But I also have to keep telling myself, no, I don't need another printer because I need to make sure that I really do want to have fun with this journey, which means I have to figure out this printer and see what other things I'll be printing besides the handful of things that I have found so far.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. No
It's
matter
addictive.
no matter how long you are 3D printing and everything like that, it'll always do something you didn't expect. It's kind of like Lucy, my long arm. She's like that too.
My long arm will do that too.
She can be.
We have Karen that has joined. And Don said that sounded just like me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm loving this new 3D printer that I have. It is like, it's worth every penny. 4 times more money than the printer that I gave you, but it's worth every nickel. Now it's costing me in filament because it's kind of like fabric. You shop and
Uh-huh.
stash, but you never have exactly what you need.
Yeah,
It's the same with filament. You know, I have a stash, but never seem to have just the right colors I need.
that has been fun for me as well, trying to figure out, okay, I want this filament and this filament and this filament, and then realizing that's a lot of dollars.
It is. And actually, I was on Temu yesterday, just picking up some cheap things, not for 3D printing, but I thought, I'll just go to Temu and take a look at their filaments. Yeah, Temu sells filament too. However, and they sell brand names of filament, but they're not any cheaper than on Amazon. So whoever I said hello to. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Jen. Hello, Karen.
Hello, Maritza's Yarn and Crafts.
Maritza's Yarn and Crafts. Hola.
Who says hola?
Hola. Now I want a taco.
Tacos.
Ooh, tacos. I don't know. It's not snowing here yet. We're supposed to be getting a huge dump about later today and right in through most of the day tomorrow. I don't know where we're going to put the snow. We may start having to put it in boxes and delivering it to other people's doorsteps. I don't know.
What was it? I've heard that you can pop it in the freezer and have a snowball fight in summer.
Yes, in July.
Nobody's expecting that one.
Nope, they're not. Although, if you pop your snow in the freezer and save it till summer, what you would be hitting them with will not be a snowball, it will be an ice ball. Believe me, when I was a kid, we used to throw ice balls at each other. We were nasty, you know. And of course,
Senior year of college, it had snowed, or maybe it was snowing. I don't remember exactly what was going on. But one of my besties was coming over. It was a Saturday. We were either well, we were gonna have dinner, but probably it was like Star Trek Deep Space Nine or something that we were gonna be watching. I was over washing dishes, and she knocks on the door, so I open up the door and she just throws a snowball at me. And I look at her in mild shock, and she's 4'10", so I just, picked her up. We walked right outside, and I just plopped her down into the snowbank. And then I had to wait for her to let me back in the building because I didn't have my ID on me to get back in the building.
okay, that went over well, I'm sure. Well, we were always told as kids, do not put rocks in your snowballs. You could put out somebody's eye. Guess what everybody used to do?
Put rocks in their snowballs because they were told not to.
That's right.
That's why you don't tell somebody not to do something.
That's right.
You tell me don't push a button, I really want to push that button.
Or we used to make snow caves as well. And the fun part about a snow cave is you'd spend all day digging this thing out of a big snowbank and getting inside. And they were quite warm inside. Now I understand why Inuit people used to make igloos. But
You mean Eskimos?
galoshes. Yes, Eskimos and galoshes eating blubber. Okay, the rest of the people will think we're crazy now. Well, they're probably not wrong. But Yeah, and then you'd always get one little bugger of a kid after you spent all day building this thing and getting it perfect in there, who'd get up on top of the snowbank and jump, and you'd get buried inside the damn thing.
Good morning, Dubrovka,
Oh,
who is from
Dubrovka's here. Hello.
Timmins, Ontario.
Yeah, now if you want to talk about snow, I'm sure Dubrovka's got lots of snow. Timmins is 1,000 kilometers or more from north of us. It is truly the frozen north.
Speaking of the metric system, my smart speaker doesn't know which system it wants to use.
Oh,
Because I will ask it, what's the forecast today? And sometimes it'll give it to me in Celsius, sometimes it'll give it to me in Fahrenheit.
well, it's an equal opportunity smart speaker.
And I have to sit there and translate it on days that it decides to give it to me in Celsius.
Well, we as Canadians are pretty much bilingual when it comes to temperature. Funny thing was, Walter and I are of an age where we remember when they brought metric system into play in Canada. So we were raised on the imperial system. And even to this day, some on certain measurements in that, I have to do conversions in my head or whatever. In fact, when it comes to quilting, everything's in imperial.
Yeah.
And
I had that conversation with a coworker of mine this week where somehow we got talking metric system stuff, and I was like, yeah, the problem is I don't know if you can get quilting to get out of imperial because we already have like the half square triangle math and everything else, all of our rulers. It you think Americans are difficult to get to change things? I can imagine quilters just, kicking and screaming, trying to say, I have these thousands of dollars worth of tools, and you're going to tell me I'm going to have to cut everything out of centimeters now?
yeah, well, I wouldn't be able to switch over. Well, for that reason, and as well, I don't think in metric when it comes to quilting. I think in imperial.
Yeah,
I wonder what they do in Europe, though. I've never investigated. I mean, if they have patterns in Europe, I wonder if the patterns are in metric or if they're in imperial.
I think I saw Adam Sows one day talk about it, and everything is in inches still.
Yeah. Well, see, because a lot of the products for quilting that they can get their hands on come from the States.
Yeah,
So I guess they kind of have to go with that. But yeah.
that said, I know they talk differently when it comes to crochet
Oh, yeah.
because like their double is the US treble or something like that.
Mm,
Or maybe it's treble is their double. I don't crochet, so I don't have that concern. But like my sister and mom, well, my sister does, mom did, and they have to know where the pattern was written so they can know which way to translate it.
yeah, true. And I know here in Canada, needles, crochet hooks and knitting needles are in both imperial and in metric. So you have to make sure, depending on your pattern,
Yep.
what it's in, you got to match your needles to that pattern's measurements as well. So yeah, it's quite confusing. But I think the kids today, the Canadian kids today, they only know metric. That's what they were raised with since they
Yep.
started, going to school. Whereas my generation, no, we came to it late. It was about the early 70s when Canada slowly started to move over to the metric system. And boy, were there a lot of pushback on that.
Well, I remember in the 80s being told, we got to learn metric because we're going that way. And, we're how many years later and we still haven't gone that way.
Well, I don't know, but when we go down into the States, and of course, in the northern states, they usually have the speed is in both metric and in US measurement. But you get to some when you get down further in other spots, everything's in the US.
Yep.
And now Walter's car, when we're in his car, he can switch it over to, whichever unit we're in. But when Americans come up to Ontario and they see 110 on the 401, they think that's 110 miles per hour.
I was about to
You know,
say when my sister's family went up the first time, they saw 110. They thought it was miles per minute.
yeah,
And they're like, wait a second, something's not right here. We're going too fast.
yeah. But it feels when and then you're looking at mileage. So our signs, of course, are all in metric. So it's like 150 kilometers to the next place or whatever. And now if you see, so 150 kilometers, then if you see 150 miles in the States, it seems like it takes forever for a mile to go by because a kilometer is actually
Uh-huh.
shorter. It's
Yeah.
shorter than a mile. So, and we're used to the kilometers.
Well, when you're driving in the States and going through going east and west on North Carolina or north and south in Virginia along the 95 corridor, that's forever.
Yeah.
Like I've joked that, you can be driving through Virginia for 3 days. It well, and like I've gotten to the point where if I have to drive up to Massachusetts, I'll do the 85 corridor because not 85, 77 corridor because I save like $40 in tolls and it's so much prettier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But
that's one thing. You guys have a lot of toll roads in the States.
oh, I hate them. We
Mine
used to
do.
have one here in Atlanta, Georgia 400, which I think it officially starts in downtown Atlanta almost. And it goes like one of the roads that we took in Dahlonega was Georgia 400. So it goes from uh like 8 or 9 lanes in each direction, all the way up to, a 2-lane road with stop signs.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was in Smokey and the Bandit for anybody who is a historical movie watcher.
Well, we
Uh,
have a toll road here in Ontario, which runs parallel with our major highway in Ontario, 401. And the 401 at times is 23 lanes across.
oh wow.
Yep, it's the busiest highway in North America and it's always jammed. So they built the 407, which is north of it, and it comes out in closer to us. So if we need to go anywhere in North Toronto or to the western, to pass west of Toronto, we will take it. But the problem is it costs you a small arm and leg because it can cost you as much as 60 or $70 round trip on that. Yeah.
Holy cow.
And if you don't have a transponder, they add
Bad.
extra $5 or $10 to your trip. So
Yeah, that's how Massachusetts is now.
yeah,
If you don't have the transponder, they will bill you and they add a couple dollars for the convenience.
yeah, yeah. But the one advantage of it though is there's less traffic on it, and we take it quite a bit when we're going west of or north of Toronto or west of Toronto. And if we need to go to the airport, which is west end of Toronto, we will take that because we can get on it faster. It's closer to where we live to get onto it than it is to drive to the southern part of our city to get on the 401. And then, as I said, the 401 is doesn't matter what time of the day or night or which day of the week you're on, it's always as soon as you start getting close to Toronto, it's backed right up. So yeah.
Yeah, we Georgia 400, and it's between exits 2 and 3, if I remember correctly. It was a 50-cent toll.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't want to pay this toll. So I would get off and take back roads. And by the time that I got to the end of the back road, I was where I needed to be anyway. So sometimes it would even save me time to take the back roads and avoid that 50-cent fine. I mean, toll.
Yeah. Well, when we went down to Dahlonega, we didn't hit any toll roads because we went down what is it, I-75?
Yeah, you probably went down 75.
Yeah, it was 75 that we took because we came across at Windsor instead of coming across at Buffalo because weather-wise, this time of the year,
Is
Buffalo could be
unpredictable.
buried. Yeah. And Windsor, Detroit tend because they're just another further south and because of the way the lake affects the weather, it's usually not as bad. So that's why we took that. Because if we had taken though, came across at Buffalo, I think we would have been on the I-90. And I think that's a toll. I'm not sure. Parts of it?
I know parts of 90 is a toll, but 90 goes east and west.
Oh, okay. Well, then
But you
maybe,
may have ended up heading down towards 95, which has a lot of tolls.
oh, maybe that was what it was. Yeah.
Good morning, Ingrid and Sean, the guy who sews.
Oh, Sean and Ingrid are here. Hello, Sean and Ingrid.
Ingrid says it was snowing there earlier this morning, but now it's freezing rain.
Oh, oh, I hope we don't get freezing rain. I'd rather have the snow.
Yeah. But back to the road numbers. I wasn't until in it wasn't until I was in college that I learned some of the tricks with the road numbers here in the States.
Hmm.
If it's an even number, it goes east to west.
Oh,
If it's an odd number, it goes north to south. If it ends in a 0, it basically goes from coast to coast.
hmm.
And if it ends in a 5, it goes basically top to bottom.
Oh, okay. Well, ours do
Uh,
something like that.
and then the lower the number, the more south or west it is. So
Oh, okay.
like I-10 is the southernmost road that goes west to east, and 90 is northern, and 95 is the one that's furthest east, and 95 5 would be the one that's furthest west.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
then if it's a 3-digit number, that means it connects to an interstate, and the interstate that is the second 2 digits is what it really connects to. And if that's an odd number, it's a spur, meaning it just goes off into no man's land, basically. And if it's an even number, that means it connects back. So 285 connects back to itself, but 985 does not.
well, that seems very logical, but at the same time, an awful lot to remember.
Well, people don't remember it because you don't need to. You just say, okay, MapQuest or Google Maps, tell me where I need to go. GPS, tell me where I need to go.
Yeah. Well, when in Ontario, if a highway has 3 digits and it starts with 4, then that is a major highway, like the 401, which runs from one end of Ontario to the other end of Ontario, but it runs east and west. So the odd number fits there. If it's we have another highway that runs north of Toronto, and it's a 400 number, but it ends in a does it end in a 400? Is 0 an even number?
Yes, 0 is an even number.
Okay, so that
Well, let me rephrase that. 0 itself, the digit between the whole number between 1 and -1, is neither even nor odd, but anything that ends in 0 is even.
okay. Well, the 400 series is a big highway too, multiple lanes and it runs north and south. So the 403 or 407 is an odd number, major highway, and it runs east and west. So I guess that's how it works, but I don't know how it works in other parts of Canada. Mainly because they don't have many highways. Other parts like Ontario is nothing. Southern Ontario is nothing but highway. Like everywhere you go, doesn't matter which way you turn, you're on a highway. With it.
Sean says the 407 is the one you need a bank loan to travel on, right?
Yes, you do. And it's not getting any cheaper. Now, our premier, who's Dougie Ford, who is running again, just called an election for the end of this month. Stupid a-hole. Anyways, he's got a great plan to eliminate gridlock. He wants to build a tunnel underneath the 401. That's never going to happen. That would cost billions, trillions of dollars, would take decades and decades to build. I mean, I don't know this guy where he comes
I mean, that's
from.
what they did in Boston with the big dig.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's still probably going on. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there was times that people can leave or go to work one way, but they could not come back from that same way because the road's gone.
Oh, okay.
That was like some of it was when I was still in college, and every single time that I would head home for something on the bus, coming back into South Station was a different route every single time.
Well, Sean says, and anything in the 400s in Toronto is usually a parking lot. Oh, it is for sure. Toronto is one of the most difficult cities. I think only city that's probably more congested than Toronto is probably New York. And I'm not even sure if New York is as congested as Toronto because, you know, we only have two seasons here in Ontario, winter and construction. And Toronto's always under construction, always. I mean, I tell people if you've never been to Toronto before and you're planning a trip to Toronto, look into public transportation, look into the commuter train to get in there.
Yeah.
Because you're not, if you do find someplace where you can leave your car, it is going to cost you an arm and a leg. And you'll be spending more time in traffic trying to get from point A to point B. Toronto's a fairly walkable city. So if you can get into Toronto using public transit from the burbs, kind of a thing, then mind you, as long as you're going in the summer, not in the winter, you can probably get wherever you want to go, walking it or taking the Mickey Mouse subway system that they have.
The same thing happens in Boston if you can somehow get there without driving in to actual Boston. It's a lot easier. When my sister got married, I took her and her about to be husband to go see Blue Man Group in Boston. And I was like, we are parking here. And he goes, why are we parking, all the way out here? I was like, because there's no parking in downtown. If we were able to find parking in downtown, it's going to cost more than the $4 that we're paying here. And the subway will drop us off right in the middle of Theater District, so we don't have to go far when we get out.
Yeah. I've been to
And the
Boston.
amount of time that we are going to spend waiting for the subway and stuff is a lot less than the amount of traffic we're going to be dealing with.
Yeah. We were in Boston. Oh, God. That's so last century. I think we were in Boston back in the 80s and we'd never been there before. And Walter had booked us a hotel, which was pretty much straight downtown Boston, but it was a place that was not one of your major hotels. I mean, those days we couldn't afford a heck of a lot, but he got this. Went into the hotel and we had parked on the side of the street in front of the hotel. And we said to the guy at the desk, he said, we're parked out here. Is our car okay there, or should we move it somewhere? And he says, nope, your car is safe in Boston, he says, but your bodies aren't. But it's okay, he says. I'll take a look at that. No, he was wrong. No, he was very wrong. We were in a knife fight. Yeah, we're walking downtown Boston, and I think we may have been in the area not knowing it at the time. We found this out afterwards that they call the combat zone. I don't know if they still do.
I don't remember that phrase.
Well, it had a lot of kind of, it
Yeah.
wasn't a nice part of town, let's put it that way, but we didn't know. We were just wandering, right? And I'm crossing at an intersection. There's lots of people there, and there's a bunch of guys all thumping on a car and yelling at each other. And I look, and there's a guy laying on the sidewalk, and there's blood coming out of him. And I'm standing there, and I'm looking. And they weren't paying any attention to me because they were busy with other things.
Right.
And whatnot. And I'm thinking, oh, I think he's been stabbed. Oh, they must be making a movie or something, and I've walked in on it or whatnot. Then it dawned on me. So I turn around to Walter, and he's not there. He's on the other side of the road. He didn't cross.
He abandoned you?
He did. He saw it before I did. And I was just blabbing away and looking here and looking at this and everything and walked in. So I just turned around, walked right back across the road where he was. And I said, we both looked at each other, and we were probably a shade of white, light. And I said, maybe we should go back to the hotel. And because it was the evening too. I mean, it wasn't late at night, but it was probably 7-ish, something like that. So we
Yeah.
went back to the hotel, and we went into the bar and had a drink. And the bartender says to us, so where are you guys from? And you look a little shook up. And I said, well, he says, oh yeah, that happens. And I said, well, someone told us that our car was safe, but or no, said our bodies were safe, but our car wasn't safe. That's what the guy said, but he'd keep an eye on it. I said, I don't think our bodies are safe either. So the next night we decided, okay, we'll avoid that area, and we were looking for a place to eat, and we saw all these things listed. This is, you got to remember, this is the days before
Yeah.
cell phones. We had map books, things to
Yep.
see in Boston. And we were looking for a place to eat. And we went down this one area that supposedly had some good Italian restaurants. So we're walking down there, and it's a nice little neighborhood. And we keep walking and walking, and then the neighborhood's not looking so nice. And now we're seeing these cops that have their cars parked down like a side street, and they're kind of leaning up against the front of their car with their arms crossed, just staring you down. And we walked a little further, and I said to Walter, I have a feeling we should go back the way we came. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. So we did. We were safe, but we did find a nice restaurant. But yeah, it was a little unnerving. Small town Ontario boys.
I do miss, randomly just browsing around Boston every now and then.
We've never been back. Not because of that, really, that we just never wasn't on our radar again to go to Boston. I wouldn't mind going back to Boston, but not right now.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Sue's here. Sue Norfleet's here. Hi, Sue.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sue showed up.
Well, she's working on Gudrun's sew along. So I guess Adam of Adam Sews on Tuesday flies to Austin. And I don't know if he's ever been to the States before.
Wait. So Adam is going to Austin and Nadine is going to Austin.
Yeah, or wait. Maybe it's not Austin. He's going to maybe mix up with Nadine. He's going to be going to oh no, he's going to Arizona because he's going
Okay.
to
QuiltCon, Phoenix.
Yeah, QuiltCon. Yeah.
Okay.
He and his husband are going there. So
Oh, that means they've got some money because the hotels there are not cheap right now.
yeah.
Which is why I am not going to QuiltCon because I can't afford a almost $2,500 hotel bill.
Yeah, well, we looked into it too, way back before all the hullabaloo happened
Yeah.
and everything. And yeah, that was what stopped us because even a flight for us out of Canada is astronomical. It's like well over $1,000. So per person. That's what we get for having only two major airlines. No competition. But yeah, we're not doing that. We are going to in the summer, the end of July, we're going to London and we
Uh-huh.
to the Birmingham Quilt Show as well. We've already booked our hotel. We're staying right at their convention center at the hotel that's attached to it.
Yep.
And we've 3 days, I think, 3 nights in Birmingham. So we'll do the quilt show and do Birmingham. And Adam is going to the Birmingham Quilt Show too. So I may have to reach out to him and see if there's any way we can coordinate our schedule so we can meet up for a drink or something.
That would be cool.
It would be. But we're looking forward to that. But this is we have Holland first in May. Then we have the Canadian National Quilt Show, and it's in Toronto this year. So we'll be going to that in June. And then off to London and Birmingham at the end of July into August. It's a
I was gonna
whirlwind.
say you're busy traveling because you also have Stephanie's retreat before that, and
Yes. Well, yeah, it's a busy first 6 months of the year. So 7 months.
good morning, Kathy, who says hello, Russ and Stephen.
Kathy's here, which is Pat. No, that's not Pat. That is Kathy. Pat comes on. Pat Jennings comes on the Sew Day, Stephanie and Stephen sewing Stephanie and Stephen Day on Wednesdays, and she has this different name that comes up, and it's Kathy something, Kathy with a W. And I still don't understand why it comes up like that. She says she has it that way for something else that she's doing. We figure she's just drug smuggler, but
Well, I guess that means she has a pseudonym for some reason.
yeah, I don't know. And hello, Kathy, if I didn't say hello. So tonight, Stephanie has her thing going on, and you're there, and some others of you too. And you guys are still working on the dragon thing, aren't you?
The dragon fruit, yeah. We will be doing month 4, which the only month I have officially completed is 3. I still haven't finished the rest of months 1 and 2.
That's why I
I
don't
think
do
month
those.
4 is the last month that is a lot of small pieces going into large pieces.
Ah, okay.
I haven't looked at month 5 yet. I just got it. But I think the last couple months they are 12-inch blocks instead of smaller blocks to be
Yeah, okay.
pieced together.
Dana just came in. Hi, Dana, and Jeannie's here.
Hey Dana, hey Jeannie.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying something like that with you guys. There's two problems though. One, I'll probably never be able to keep up. And two, I can't afford it. And
Yeah,
it
I was gonna
probably won't
say
get to me.
this one was an expensive block of the month as it is. They have given us so much extra fabric,
Oh, yeah.
and um, it ends up being, I think it's like almost $40 a month.
Is that from Fort Worth Fabric?
No, it is from Fat Quarter Shop.
Oh, Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, okay.
Although I did make another purchase from Fort Worth Fabric Studio yesterday, thanks to their Friday fabric finds.
Yeah. Well,
Good
Stephanie.
morning, Stephanie, who
Hi,
has been
Stephanie.
listening while doing other things, but now can now say hello.
No, sneaky.
I flipped my seams the wrong direction.
Oh, someone Russ's.
Is that Walter? Hi,
Yeah,
Walter.
that was Walter. He just arose from the dead.
I was gonna say
Got
he's
back
up
up.
early.
Yeah, he's gone back upstairs. Well, no, actually, this is about his usual time. Oh, I think my 3D printer has. What? This thing's at 98%, and it just came up with a warning saying it detected spaghetti. Check your print. Well, I don't see any spaghetti, so I said, just resume, you stupid. Sometimes it's AI is just a little too smart in these machines.
Well, I don't always trust the AI answers for things.
No. Well, this thing does have a mind of its own, that's for sure. And it poops a lot.
They keep talking about bringing AI into our systems, and I'm like, how is AI going to know the trends in our industry? Because if you're training it on our numbers, and our numbers are either going to go up or down, AI is just going to follow that trend.
Yeah.
You basically need to have AI understand the industry, which is what our forecast people do. And they know the contracts that they are signing and all that other stuff. So I'm like, I don't get why you think AI is going to help you.
Well, have you noticed that now when you do a Google search, the first thing that pops up in your Google search is the AI
And it
telling
has
you
been
something?
wrong every single time when I've actually tried to verify it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I asked a QuiltCon question and it gave me wrong answers.
Oh, actually,
So
I've been finding it very helpful. Actually, when I've asked certain questions about problems with my printer or whatever, it's come up
I
with good
I
stuff.
think it might be, sources of things
Mhm.
because QuiltCon stuff changes every year. So
Yeah.
it may not be smart enough to know that it has to change its answer every year.
Oh, yeah, that could be. Well,
Because one of the questions that I asked, it ended up telling me that QuiltCon this year was in Raleigh. And I'm like, no, QuiltCon this year is not in Raleigh.
well,
That's what it was. I asked it, I asked Google what the QuiltCon dates were for 2026 so that I can start thinking about a hotel in Raleigh.
maybe.
And it was telling me that QuiltCon 2025 will be in Raleigh. And I'm like, no, 2025 is in Phoenix.
Yeah, right.
Good morning, Linda's Trendy Threads. How you
Hello,
doing?
Linda.
And there was oddly a tech question that I had asked it recently, and it gave me a wrong answer as well.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
sometimes it's kind of fun to toy
I mean,
with.
a lot of it is really nice and usually accurate, but occasionally you just get it's being stupid.
Yeah, but it's getting better all the time, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
I try to think about if we had AI when I was teaching school, how the heck the teachers now are handling this when it comes to
Oh,
say writing and
plagiarism and
stuff
stuff
like
like
that.
that, or did you actually write your report?
Yeah. And the thing is, even like we used to, they had to do referencing and all that kind of stuff when I was teaching school. Well, now AI will put in the
Do your
references
referencing,
for
yeah.
you. Like, holy crap. It's stuff like that that makes me very happy. I'm now retired. Yeah. Actually, there is a show on Netflix It comes from Germany. It's called Cassandra.
Okay.
And we just finished watching it. All the episodes are up. And basically, this family moves into this house that was built in the early 1960s, but it was one of the first smart homes. And it has a robot in it. And but
Like
this
Rosie the robot?
yes, exactly like Rosie the robot, except it's actually, as you find out in as you go through the shows, the people that lived there, the husband was sort of a medical scientist, and his wife, she gets she has terminal cancer throughout her body because he did an experimental kind of like an ultrasound when she was pregnant with their second child, and it was radiation or something. They did it in the late early 70s, and he basically put her consciousness into this robot, and the robot is evil. And it's now trying, now it's in the like the 21st century, it's in the our time now, and it's trying to eliminate the mother of the household because she's like it's kind of bizarre. It's actually quite good. It's quite good. I mean, yes, it is definitely far-fetched,
Right.
but is it?
I was gonna
I don't
say,
know. You know, I mean, I watch those the videos on YouTube every year from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
yeah.
And this year they're featuring everything's got an AI in it, everything from cutting your grass to your refrigerator.
I was gonna say your refrigerator probably
Yeah,
has AI telling you, okay, your mayonnaise is too old, go buy some more.
yeah. I like to live on the edge. If it, I'll try the mayonnaise. My philosophy is if it isn't green, it's edible, or it's
Oh,
supposed to
what
be.
about your lettuce?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. Or it's supposed to be green. But the one that's really got me confused is how do you know when sour cream is gone off?
That's a question that I've asked for years.
Does sour cream really go bad at any time? How can you tell? Well, if there's gray floaties on the top, that's usually a sign.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
Yeah.
probably different colors in it.
Like, ask me how I know. Well, I think my printer might be finished. Go ahead and say okay. Like it may have done a fine job. Oh, bloody parts on it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say
What's
earlier.
that?
You were talking about bag making and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm getting more and more irritated at my local quilt shop because they keep offering awesome classes, like bag classes and stuff,
yeah.
but it's only during the day when I'm at work.
Oh,
And I'm like, I need, an evening class, a Saturday class, a Sunday class. I mean, I understand why Sunday classes probably don't happen, but
a lot of quilt shops are like that though, because the one here, all of their classes are during the day.
because a majority of the clientele are
Yeah,
retired people.
yeah. Well, I haven't taken a class in a long time now, not because I know everything, although I do. No, no, but because I don't like my local quilt shop. The classroom is so tiny and cramped, and they have fabric in there as well. And people who are coming in to buy fabric are trying to get by your chair so they can
Oh,
shelves, and it's and then they hang over top of you like when you're working. Oh, what are you doing? I'm sewing. What does it look like I'm doing? And I was sewing, and then you came and you interrupted me. They get really uptight with me when I say, would you mind putting your finger here? Yeah, just under the needle. Hold that for me. Thanks. Yeah, no.
I mean, the good thing about the shop that I'm complaining about is their classroom is downstairs and they don't usually have anything besides what's going on downstairs.
Hmm.
So you won't go down there to shop or anything. But sometimes people go down there and observe the class for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
But there was another shop that I would go to, and they had basically open sews on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go there, you can sew. Uh, they loved it when I showed up because, it for them it was, we have one of our friends showing up and we're trying to help show that it's just not for women.
Right.
But when the women would come in and they would see me, as you know, they'd see it as a novelty of, oh wow, you're doing this and da da da, da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's
No.
not a big deal.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Same things happen to Walter and myself when at our quilt store. They come in and go, well, there's men in here. Yes, there are.
But yeah, the quilt shop owners just really loved it because it filled up stuff in the classroom so they can see that people had room to work in the classes, or that they can convince people to come on open sew days, which means you're likely to buy something.
Yes. True. But I
And
just,
there was like 4 or 5 of us that would go all the time, and a lot of times we would all go to dinner afterwards,
that'd be
which was
nice.
always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I used to enjoy the classes when I first got into quilting. That's, I was taking a lot of different classes because I was learning and that, and I really enjoyed them. But then she started, the owner, her store is very, and I get it. She just doesn't have the space. She even looked at other locations and she's cheap, but but also the parking situation in other places too. Like this one is in sort of a strip plaza and there's tons of parking around. And, other places she was looking at that she could possibly afford that were bigger didn't have the same parking facility. So she keeps hoping there's a Subway shop right next door. She keeps hoping that someday they'll close out and she can knock out a wall and go into their premises, but I don't think that's going to happen. I hate peeling off supports.
Good morning, Candace,
Oh, Candace is here. Hi, Candace.
who basically has decided to join at the last possible minute
Yes, really.
because I have my block done.
Oh, yay. Oh, that looks really nice. I like that.
Yeah, this one was fun. The
Yeah.
only fabric that I needed was this dot because I had everything else from the scraps,
Oh, yeah.
but they still gave us pieces of some of the other fabrics. I'm like, I don't need that. So I got a whole bunch of scraps left from this, and I don't know what I am going to do with the scraps yet. At some point in the next, hopefully, month, I will get the finishing kit. I don't know when I'm going to do the finishing. I'm probably not going to do it on a live. I will probably just do it after I'm done with graduation quilts.
You've been making graduation quilts forever.
Oh, well, that's because I've been doing a lot of procrastinating as well.
Oh,
I've just got to get borders on one more before I can send them to Stephanie. Oh, and get the backings made. Uh, and then I've got this graduation quilt to make after that.
oh, geez.
And then I'll have all the graduation quilts done for this year.
Hmm.
And then there's, the next year stuff. I'm tired of people graduating. Maybe I'm just going to stop giving people quilts for graduation after
There's a
next year.
plan. There's a
After
plan
next year.
after next year.
It's basically, family's going to get it. And I don't think there's going to be any family graduating again until kids start having kids.
Yeah, okay. Well, that might be a few years yet then.
Oh, Candace has been cleaning up a leak from the hose going into the fridge for water and ice.
Oh, that's not good.
Ended up huddling into the dining room under the carpet. Gross. I'm sorry to hear that.
That sounds like a mess.
So I think we are going to wrap this up because
Okay.
your embroidery machine has paused.
It has. That's because
And
I'm
it looks
busy
like
peeling my dragon.
I was gonna say you're doing some peeling of your stuff. That looks fun. So yeah, for me, don't forget tomorrow is sewing shenanigans. If you are part of my mailing list, you have the link. If you're not part of my mailing list, the link is in the description below this video. It's in my vlog video from Wednesday. So you are still welcome to join if not. One thing that came up as a question yesterday is if I'm subscribed to your channel, am I part of your mailing list? And the answer is no. YouTube doesn't give me that information. Thankfully, YouTube doesn't give me that information because I don't think we need to know the emails of our subscribers, especially those big channels and stuff. And they're like, I could spam you if I wanted. No, I no.
Yep.
I'm thankful YouTube doesn't give people access to your email address. So if you want to be on the mailing list, you actually have to send me an email to say, please get me on the mailing list. But yeah, that's going to be about it for me. I know tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern is Stephen and Walter Live, which is always a lot of fun. And this afternoon on Stephanie Stitch's channel, we'll be live with month 4 of Dragon Fruit. That's going to be a lot of fun. So hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Toodles.
Bye, everybody.